Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. First thing I want to do is just say thank you to everyone who continues to support the work I'm doing here on this channel. Um, Leaving a like on the video will help the message get in front of the people who need to see it. There are a lot of people out there, just like you and I, who are feeling a little different, feeling like they would like to learn about who they are and understand why they're here, and we can help them do that. So, thank you very much. I was lucky enough to communicate with the Pleiadian guides and the Akashic records. It's something I've been doing a lot lately. But they brought a few things to my attention, and they gave me a new technique that I've been trying myself for the last few weeks. And I'm going to bring that forward to you as well because I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. I know I have. First thing that was said was to remind those who are getting the spiritual downloads with the directive of sharing those downloads with the public need to make sure that they're not stalling or hesitating when the time comes to share that message. So when we get our downloads, there's a certain charge that comes with it. There's emotion involved, there's curiosity and passion, and all of those things are creating a specific charge with that message that is important when it comes time to convey the message to others. It has to be delivered in the energy in which it was received. Otherwise, it's almost like we're reading from a script, and that's not really going to pluck the right chords that the information's meant to. So make sure that you capitalize on the opportunity that you have to share when it presents itself. And for those of you who are getting the downloads and have been thinking about putting the download out there, I know it's a little tricky because, we have friends and family that maybe we're not advertising our lightworker side and the work that we do with energy. If that's the case, then you just need to start over. Keep your original channels, but create a new one, and maybe that will give you a little bit more courage to put yourself out there, which is scary. I've been there, but a lot of you are feeling like you have an important message to share, or that there's people that you can help, and the platforms available to do that are abundant, so pick one. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how much your spiritual downloads increase in their frequency and your ability to retain them. It really is everything you've been waiting for, but it is your job on your end to set the stage for that to happen. So be curious, don't be afraid of getting scared. The family and the community is open and welcome and will respect and be grateful for the opportunity to learn what your perspective has observed. So a message for the messengers. The next thing that came through is that everyone needs to start really letting it sink in that we are walking around in suits. The vision of you that you see in the mirror is a character that you're playing. Once you understand that this is a vehicle built, manufactured by the creator to explore and measure what's happening here in the universe, the more you can start working outside of that vessel. So you'll learn that there are opportunities to shut the engine down and kind of step back. Or you can put your vehicle on idle and remote view yourself, or go wherever you want to go. I was given a method of meditating that's going to help anchor you into a physical form that is not the one that you're currently occupying. So this is something that I've been doing the last few weeks, and it was actually really hard at first. I had a hard time getting engaged and staying engaged, but you'll see why. Let me just explain it. So when you go into meditation, I like to do these kinds of things as I'm falling asleep. When I go to bed, I usually plan an hour to keep myself awake and just explore my consciousness. And, quantum tunneling, quantum jumping, going into the Akashic records, visiting past lives, all of those things I do in that hour time. And every time I do that, a part of me leaves the physical body and enters the multidimensional reality. So when I go to that place, I see myself energetically rising through a mist, and then I end up in a different dimension. I always go to the same place because every time I go to that place, I feel like my senses become just a little bit more immersed in the environment. So if you create something that's simple that you can return to and get familiar with, you'll find that your senses that you have in your physical body will translate into that multidimensional space, and you'll get to experience it being fully immersed in it. I mean, this place I go to is the top of a mountain. It is a lake where a glacier has run off. It is very close to the peak of the mountain. Looks a lot like the Alps. There are some trees, so there are animals there, but I can go to that place. I can drink the water out of the lake. I can dip into the lake and float on my back and, watch the clouds go past. It is a multidimensional place that I can return to, that all of my senses are familiar with, and every time I go there, I become more lucid every single time. So I've reached a point where I can start doing other things. And I notice that when I'm in that dimension, I'm not in this physical body. I kind of initially act and behave as if I am in a body, just because it's what my consciousness is familiar with. But I can, levitate and rise up out of that scene and go anywhere. I was given a new concept, and you have to understand that your soul puts on bodies like it's a wardrobe in the closet. The perspective can go in and out, in and out, in and out, wherever it wants to go. There's no linear restrictions. It is soul energy with intent transferring from one perspective to another. So I went into this multidimensional place. I was instructed to see my body without being in my body. And it's interesting. It's like admiring a car in a garage when you elevate yourself to a certain perspective. You study the body, you examine it, you see all of its joints, you see how it functions, what its strengths are, what its limitations are, and you just examine it as thoroughly as you can. And it's important to start with the body that you know. That's going to help you have the experience that you need to have to get the results that you're looking for. And the results are immersion in a multidimensional state. Next thing they had me do was very deliberately, from behind, 1 foot at a time, aligning my energy in the same occupied space that body was in. And then from there, we go through the process of anchoring by opening our energy centers one by one. So first thing I'll do is turn on my hands. Start to move the body like I just turned it on. Next thing I'll do, I will start at the root chakra and work all my way up to the crown using sacred ohms and the visual instruction of opening, which I typically use a flower symbolically to do that. Once you've done that, you have gone through the process of energetically tying yourself to a certain density in the form of a physical body. And the first time, I did this, I didn't get a lot of results. It took a massive amount of energy to hold myself there, so I got pretty tapped out, and I usually fall asleep without being able to hold myself there. But I kept doing this. I kept doing it every night. Sometimes I would get in the bath in midday and do it again. And every time I did, I got a little bit more anchored to that body. I got a little bit more immersed in that dimension. And then I got the go-ahead to take it out for a spin. So what did I do? We started out on the shore of the lake, that I described to you. I put one toe in, and it felt like somebody dunked my head in the coldest ice water on earth. It really just lit me up from head to toe in multiple realities. So I could tell I was hitting a different level of immersion when my emotional body started to respond in an exaggerated way. So the joy and the love and the bliss and the peace and all of that stuff, actually started to choke up my body with, all of that good stuff. Bringing a tear to your eye. If you can enter a multidimensional state or a state of meditation that is deep enough that your experience carries over into your physical self, then you're doing something special. The physical body doesn't know the difference. But the physical body will not respond that way if you've got one foot in and one foot out, or if you've exhausted all of your energy doing your job and maintaining your relationship and whatever else is stealing your energy from you. If you're not making time to explore your consciousness, then you are still enslaved in a system that has been created to disallow that kind of experience. Make time for yourself. Make sure that you have something left over when the day ends so that you can explore your multidimensional reality, which is the true reality, not this illusion that we're pretending is real. Okay, and this one is a message that I received to a question that I asked that had to do with a pattern I was experiencing in session. And people, light workers and old souls fail hard. When we fail, we really fail. Sometimes we feel like we have the full force of the universe on our team, at our back. And then we start something and it doesn't work out, it fails, and we have to go back to the drawing board. So I was asking, what can I say to people to help them understand why that thing they were trying didn't work out? And the message from the guides was this: your guides and your higher self is not interested in the slightest in you becoming a slave to your own creation. Meaning that you are being blocked from manifesting the wrong thing, even if it feels like the right thing. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not the thing you're doing becoming successful that is the point of you engaging in that endeavor. Sometimes it's the experience, sometimes it's to meet people, sometimes it's, just simply to figure out what works and what doesn't. Okay? I have failed a million times, and every time I did, I would shake my fist at the sky and say, I thought you guys were there for me, I thought you guys were helping me. Your guides simply will not let you become a slave to something that is not the highest potential that they're working so hard to keep you on track with. So if you're one who has failed and is getting discouraged and is, looking to fulfill this important mission, but don't really feel like they're getting the traction or support or whatever they're looking for, you should know that even your failures have purpose. You should know that the encouragement to try things will never go away. And as long as you are doing your diligence and make sure that when you feel like you should do something, that you take action, no one can ask anything else from you. Stay in the heart space and find that stream of information and inspiration and do the best that you can with it. Thank you very much, you guys. I will see you very soon. Goodbye.